All right, here we go. Another random reaction. These ones are always hard to watch because it's this fucking lame brain right here. Gonna do a random video. And with this time, we're gonna go to oldest. 4 years ago. Here we go. Yeah. My new channel, The Reason. The Reason. Putting in that work. How, why, and when. Damn, 21 minutes.
Got in a car accident.
In prison, you can put work in on the guys in that work.
There we go.
Buenos Dias Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know.
Please don't.
Like a motherfucking smack addict, right? As you can tell by today's thumbnail, we're putting in some work, right? Putting in that work. Not necessarily in prison.
Hold up. Where's the beard at, dude? Oh, it wasn't in style 4 years ago, huh? Right? You fucking tool. Why is there just... Oh, they got both of them up there. But yeah, they show off my dunks. They're a fucking vanity-driven fucking piece of shit.
Yes, a lot of work gets put in, but in life, right? You could put work in prison. You could put work in on the guys. You could be a gang member putting in work. Shit, you could be an average everyday Joe. Sleepy Joe orderly putting in work, right?
How does a average everyday citizen put in work? Make that make sense, Gummer.
Putting in work, necessary, yes, for the cause that you believe in, no matter what it is, right?
May it be the mega cause, right, Gummer?
Sometimes, Sasuke, it's not even a gang beef. Sometimes you put in work because you know what? Someone disrespected you, or someone disrespected your familia, or there's something righteously that you believe in, and you're like, fuck it, home.
Wouldn't that be retaliation? Not going out headhunting? A minute, 10 seconds, he doesn't even know what he's talking about anymore. He doesn't even know what the fuck he is talking about. Pay attention to this fake wannabe Mexican.
Menudo's not a direct fashion. I'm gonna put in some fucking work like this again in that fashion. Come on, homies, let's go. No, Sasuke, we can't put in work today. What happened, homies? You don't want to work? Charlie, homies, hey, watch out. Because, you know what I mean? Hey, the way that my bank account is set up and...
So he's explaining himself. He just gave a bunch of fucking
the way that my old lady feels, you know what I mean? I ain't got enough fed. You got to go put in work, and she ain't gonna let me go put in work. So that.
See, I want to count the times Gummer's put in work in his whole life. Between what? Put it in the comments, y'all. 0 to 5.
Combined with that means no putting in work. All right, I already know what time it is. But sometimes you have to put in that work. You have to go out there and do what you have to do to make things necessary for you and your safety and security to be okay. You know, of course, growing up as a youngster.
Yeah. You just throw up your hands because you don't know what you're talking about.
For you and your safety and security to be okay. You know, of course, growing up as a youngster.
I don't know what to say next.
And gravitating towards being adulthood and being a gang member and getting involved in all that type of stuff.
What the fuck, gravitate to adulthood? It's called getting older, Gummer. Come on. I thought you were smarter than that.
From day one, I was taught to put in that work. You know, I was educated
No,
and
you
indoctrinated by several individuals.
From day one. When he was born, they put a fucking rag on his head and a knife in his hand.
I've told you the stories, and always the end result was you got to be down for your shit. You got to put in that work. You got to handle your business. You're going to be involved in pegadas. You're going to be involved in doing certain things that you don't.
Who in the fuck are you talking to? Your overseas audience?
want to do necessarily, but you have to do them because if you don't do them, man, that's going to make you look bad on your part, and you know, when it goes on and on and on from there. But as a youngster, I remember striving to do that. You know, I wanted to put in the work. I wanted to be the homeboy on the front line status. I wanted to be the homeboy on first and
He
foremost.
wanted to be homo. Catch that?
Striving to do that.
He wanted to be homo.
You know, I wanted to put in the work. I wanted to be the homeboy on the front line status. I wanted to be the homeboy on first and foremost to handle his motherfucking bizwax, right? Because again, there was a lot of times that I put in work that I didn't even have to. You know, I took the necessary precautions and the steps to secure myself to go out there and handle business when I
What the fuck did he just say? Wow.
necessarily didn't even have to. Motherfuckers didn't even ask for my help. And I'm gonna tell you a couple
Yeah,
stories. I
because
remember
they
one
didn't want
time,
your help.
the fair, Merced Fairgrounds. It's
How old were you?
1996. The fair. I just got out of YA, and I mean within weeks, and maybe a week and a half. And I remember we're at the fair, and I was hyped up. I was ready to put in that work. I was ready to prove to everyone why I had that Mongolian whipping back and forth, whipping back and forth. Right? I wanted to.
Dude, you are such a fucking tool, weirdo piece of shit. Remember when you said something about those nalgas look 16? Huh? We ain't forgot about that shit, Gummer.
Show everybody that I was about my tongue post shit. So we're actually walking, me and a few homeboys, and there's a crowd gathered, and I recognize a few of these guys as being norteños or being homeboys at that time. Not even knowing what the beef is between them and these other individuals they're beefing with, but just knowing that them being homeboys, they must be righteous. Sasuke, they're right, and these butters are wrong, right? And so I flighted a guy. I just walked by, didn't even know him, just took flight without fucking identifying, without anything.
Yeah,
and of course, that put me in a
fucking
bad
right,
situation
dude.
because little did I know, man, it was a personal beef, and these were homeboys too. Benza on la tira, right? Now, at that time, they weren't really tripping off the red on red stuff, so, I mean, shit was happening. You know, shit was happening. You'd get the one-on-one fight. If you had a problem with the homeboy, you can call him out. You can handle your business.
So we need to do the research on this motherfucker story. He said he got out of YA. I don't know what year that was. If somebody knows, please drop it in the comments. And they weren't tripping on the red and red at that point. So if you know what he's talking about, you should know what years he's talking about. So this guy's just all over the place as always. Fuck him.
It was what it was. But that particular day, the homeboys were tripping because I came out of left field, so I was getting put in that work. That's just how I felt that day. Menudo, right? And I menudoed him. Came out from snaked on him. I ain't gonna lie, caught him from the left to the left.
Bam! See? Just snitched himself out. Of course you would snake somebody because you're a pussy. You don't want that. And on some random person walking by that looked like a cholo? What kind of shit is that, dude? Explain yourself, Gummer. Look at this bitch ass fool.
And he went to sleep, right?
Yeah, right.
That was that. Of course, homeboys got at me the next day. They're like, damn, bro, why you do the homeboy like that? I said,
Nah, see? I don't know who's his homeboys are or what kind of homeboys was there or whatever. This story's not even real, so anyways. That shit would have erupted some kind of shit. Especially at a fair where there's like sheriffs, probation officers, security guards. I mean, come on. And if somebody fucking knocked my homeboy, snake them shit, I'm gonna fucking hit you. I'm gonna snake you. It's a snake situation, but in all reality, you're the only snake in this story. And that's for damn sure, Gummer.
I don't even know. I just seen him arguing with Jason Holmes, and I figured, fuck you. You know, I know Jason from way back, like a heart attack. So I think I'm gonna make it happen. Yay, and I did my thing. And he was like,
You know, fucking weirdo shit he does.
Charlie, bro, you know what I mean? That wasn't cool, and the homeboy's gonna want to see you one time for your mind. And I said, well, indubitably. You know what I mean? Let's put that work in.
Indubitably.
And of course, we handled that. How we handled that. And that
Is he
was
reading
what it was.
something?
That was just
Looks
one
like he's
situation where
reading
putting in work
something.
Went wrong. You know, putting in work gone wild, right? And it went wrong. But I still did it because I had that in.
How is that put work? How is snaking somebody from behind putting in work? That sounds like a bitch move. That sounds like a straight leva bitch move, Gummer. How is that?
I wanted to prove something to somebody. I always wanted to prove in Merced City, man, that I was just a little bit downer than everyone else, or not necessarily downer
and then they
than
kicked
everyone
your
else,
ass out of
but that I
Merced.
fit right into the mold myself.
You didn't fit into
That I was-
shit. You're not even Mexican, bro. You're cosplaying Mexican. You got brown face on every day. And I'm here to take that shit back, dude, because that's not cool. You don't go on the internet acting like you're a fucking Mexican, telling all these gangster stories that are 95% fake. There's got to be a little bit of truth in there somewhere. We just don't know where. But anyways, you are not Mexican. You are a certified JCat. You said it yourself. And you are one of the biggest weirdo perverts on the internet. And you do not represent the raza, homie. You're not even a homie. You're a bitch. And you know you're a bitch. You know? Why don't you go train? Oh, train for what?
Down to handle my business. I was down to put in my work, just like anyone else would do. You know, there were some guys that weren't though. I'm telling you, I remember pulling
Yeah,
up
like you.
one time, and I can't tell you the whole intricacies and the details into this story because I was scared. I don't want to get a warrant. But we're actually sitting in a car with me and several other individuals. And
What the fuck? Dude, get a warrant for what? Snitching on the internet? For snitching on the internet? What you do best, pussy boy?
in their name, and we're gonna go put in some serious work, right? And we have
Fucking
a few of the
weirdo.
things, and we're chilling in the garden. And I remember one of the homeboys comes up to the car,
Chilling in the garden.
you know, and he's supposed to be in that motherfucking car. Fuck coming up to the car all late, look on a motherfucking beach cruiser, looking like a tweaker. You're supposed to be sitting right
So he's explaining himself again. So this guy used to ride around on a beach cruiser, not looking like a tweaker, being a tweaker. Well noted.
there beside me, man. I'm still here.
Oh my goodness, dude. I don't understand how he thinks that shit's cool. And he's reading something. Because he's not looking at his monitor or his webcam.
Handling your business, right? Putting in that work with your boy. But of course, no, that wasn't to be. So he's like, hey, bro, you know where I can get a dime? Nah, Holmes, I know where you can get you, motherfucking, you know what I mean? Oh, no, man, no, come on, bro, what are you guys gonna do, man? That ain't cool.
Of course you'd fucking punk a tweaker with a gun. Oh, shit. Okay, this is the 5% truth that I'm talking about. See, he's talking about himself, right? And then now he's talking about putting in work. His first story, he snaked somebody at the fair, and the story ended. I guess he's talking about how he got a calentada. But now the second story of putting in work, he drew down on some random tweaker. Like, what's so hard about that? That's some pussy ass shit. Why you gotta fuck with the tweakers, man? The only time I fuck with tweakers is if they fucking with my shit. You know, I let them go through my fucking garbage can looking for recyclables, man. So why you gonna pull out a gun on somebody looking for recyclables, Gummer? Explain yourself, fake Mexican.
Well, you should think about your lives, right? Think about your lives. Bro, you just asked for a dime. Get on out of here, man. Go to sleep one time for your mind.
The fuck?
And I felt some type of way. I felt like shooting him right in his motherfucking ass. I'm gonna be honest with you. But
He felt like shooting a helpless, defenseless tweaker in the booty because he felt some type of way. I'm almost to believe that you were the one on the beach cruiser and you got the gap pulled on you.
that time, I realized that not everybody was up to par. Not everybody had the same mentality and the same way of thinking. Not every single person is down to put in that work. You know, some guys are from the hood just for necessity because they need protection.
Just like
or
you.
because they grew up there. You know, or
Just
because
like you.
they're big brothers from the hood. So automatically
Just
they
like
assume
you.
that they're fucking involved and it's all good in the hood. But they never.
I'm gonna say this here. Every story he tells, the person on the other end, or I don't know how to say it, the bad side of the story, or whatever, right? That's him. You know, and he puts himself like in the hero shoes. Let's say like one's a hero, one's a villain, right? I'm almost certain that he's the villain in every story he talks about as he tries to be triumphant and be the hero. In all reality, he was the one getting punked, getting snaked at the fucking fair because he did something foul because he's a fucking pervert weirdo. or you ran up on some homies on a fucking beach cruiser all tweaked out looking for a 10 sec, and then they pull the gun on you because they don't like you. Say, get the fuck out of here, Gummer. The fuck you still doing in the hood?
Go to prison, or they never put in that work. And I'm not saying going to prison is a good thing and putting in work's a good thing and getting caught up and getting stripped away from your.
Then what the fuck is this story about? You're glorifying it. And you have to throw that in there 6 minutes in? Man, see, this is part 2. It's already been 15 minutes. This is going to drag on. As always, I apologize. You know, this is very, very, very cringe to watch. And, you know, I'm doing my public service, you know. This is my public service announcement to expose these dudes. These lames, these fakes, these frauds, these grifters, e-beggars, perverts. You know, this is a YouTube video from 4 years ago. Look at his energy now. I mean, yeah, look at his energy now to back then.